Buckeye Nation, we're back with another episode of the Dot the I podcast. I'm your host, Big C. What is going on? Before we jump into the show, make sure you guys drop down, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe if you're brand new. Big shout out to everybody that's showing this Dynasty so much love. I really do appreciate it. As always, you can follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram as well, at Big C Got Game. If you have a question or a comment, feel free, hit that comment section down below or send me a tweet or an IG message, and I got you. Now, week 8 is what most of the pros call a laugher. The Bowling Green State Falcons visited the shoe, took their beat down, collected their check, and headed back to the crib. 69-27 was the final score. The Buckeyes put up 63 points in the first 3 quarters. The offense dominant as usual, 440 total yards, 5 for 9 on third down conversions, and a perfect 4 for 4 inside the red zone. Dwayne Haskins had another great game, 256 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing. Mike Weber only rushed for 108 yards and had 2 scores. Senior wideout Austin Mack had 2 grabs for 99 yards and 1 amazing catch and grab for a touchdown. Now we look at the Silver Bullets. The defense had a tough day. Morgan came in and threw the ball 45 times for 366 yards and 3 scores, but the secondary did force 2 interceptions. The Falcons' rushing game was non-existent, only giving up 28 yards on 21 carries. Talked last week about the tough game our secondary could face with Pugh and Dukes, and it was facts. Dukes caught 8 passes for 110 yards, while Pugh showed out, had 7 catches for 127 and 3 scores. And I believe that's the first time all year that the defense gave up 2 100-yard receivers in a game. Bright side, Wes May and Jordan Fuller had 2 pick sixes, and the defense finished with 4 sacks. But back to Wes May. He's become one of the most dominating players on the field. He's all over the place, either linebacker spot or coverage. And just think, he's only a sophomore. We take a peek at the top 10. The Buckeyes are still sitting at number 2 behind Clemson. The U, South Carolina, LSU, Florida, Stanford, FSU, Wisconsin, and Texas are your top 10. And here's where things get a little weird and crazy. In the BCS poll, our Buckeyes are 3rd. Yes, 3rd. Clemson and the U sit 1 and 2. South Carolina is 4. LSU rounds out the top 5. So it's going to be an interesting last couple weeks of the season. The Buckeyes don't face any ranked opponents for the rest of the year. So we'll see how that affects the BCS standings. Before we get into recruiting, we have to say a big congratulations to Coach Urban Meyer. He won his 200th and 201st game, only trailing Nick Saban and Bob Stoops for the most winningest active coaches in the nation right now. So big congratulations and shout out to Coach. To the trail we go, and the class of 2020 keeps growing with the addition of Brenton Cox, a defensive end from Georgia, D.N. Pierre Stevenson, offensive lineman Joe Sanders and Eric Bryant, and welcome 4-star athlete Jason Harris. This kid is fast, y'all. He could be a great H-back or slot player coming up in the next year or 2. Our league continues to grow for defensive end Larry Newman and running back Mark Walker. 5-star athlete Darnell Johnson has added the Buckeyes to the top of his list. He has quarterback traits, but with his size, he could play power back. We continue to trail for 5-star wideout Kellen Martin, but the race is close. After his visit to the shoe, number 1 defensive tackle John Pittman has Ohio State as his number 1 team. We are now trailing for number 4 tackle Johnny Smith, but it's a tight race between the Bucks and the Irish. Meyer sent his recruits back on the trail and found Micah McGee, a 6'2", 237-pound defensive end from Hot Springs, Arkansas. He has great power moves and block shedding and decent speed and strong pursuit. He would be a great addition to an already stacked defensive line class. 13 recruits equals the number 1 class so far in the nation, so shout out to the Buckeyes and their recruiting team. Next up on the schedule, the 1 and 6 Terps from Maryland. This is the second of 3 lower tier teams the Buckeyes will be taking on. That's going to wrap it up for this week in the Dot the I podcast. We are at home one more time before heading back out on the road, so make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are brand new, and make sure you follow your boy on Twitter and IG at Big C Got Game. The links are in the description, and we'll talk next week, guys. Have a great day. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.